welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I would like to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me, because today we are talking about some fall anticipated releases. So we're going to be discussing books that are coming out in September, October, and November, and I am super excited about this list because it includes some of my most anticipated of the year, and I just can't wait to get into these books. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. First, we're going to discuss all of the books that are coming out in September. We're going to start with my most anticipated book of the year. I have been yelling about this book nonstop since I found out about it. I'm going to keep screaming about it until I read it, and probably even after, because I am just so certain that I'm going to love this, and that is Immortal Dark by Taijist Germa. And this is The Cruel Prince meets Ninth House in this dangerously romantic dark academia fantasy where a lost heiress must infiltrate an arcane society and live with the vampires she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. Our orphaned heiress Kaiden Adane, I think that's how you say that, grew up far from the arcane society she was born into, where human bloodlines gain power through vampire companionship. When her sister June disappears, Kaiden is convinced a vampire stole her, the very vampire bound to their family, the cruel yet captivating Succinto Sagar. That's pretty much all I need to know. We have black vampires, we have dark academia, we have fantasy, we have all the things that sound like the perfect book for me, and I am so ready for this book to come out. I think by the time this video is actually published, it will be out, so make sure you go and get your hands on this. Next up, we have So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison, and I've only read one Rachel Harrison, and that was Cackle, but I mean, I had a good time with it, so I'm willing to, read something else by her. And So Thirsty is about Sloane Parker, who is dreading her birthday. She doesn't need a reminder that she's getting older or that she's feeling indifferent about her own life. Her husband surprises her with a birthday weekend getaway, not with him, but with Sloane's longtime best friend, troublemaker extraordinaire Naomi. Sloane anticipates a weekend of wine tasting and cozy robes and strategic avoidance of issues she'd rather not confront, like her husband's repeated infidelity. But when they arrive at their rental cottage, it becomes clear Naomi has something else in mind. She wants Sloane to stop letting things happen to her, for Sloane to really live. So Naomi orchestrates a wild night out with a group of mysterious strangers, only for it to take a horrifying turn that changes Sloane's and Naomi's lives literally forever. And this is what I need. And I am not necessarily a horror reader. I would not say that at all, because I am scared. Deep in my core, I am a scary girly, and I don't like to be scared. So I have to dip my toe in and out of the horror category, and it has to be light, real slight for me to, vibe with it. And I think Rachel Harrison is a good author for that. I have not read any of her other books, but like I said, Cackle was a little creepy, but it wasn't bad. So I'm hoping that So Thirsty works in that same way for me. Next up, we have The Lovers by Rebecca Fobion. Sorry. So this says a second chance at love is in the cards for two women working a stylish California wedding in this charming debut romance. If Kit Larson believes one thing, it's that the cards never lie. She's seen it proven time and time again as a tarot reader and mystic influencer. But unfortunately, the cards didn't warn her about her most recent breakup or her parents' divorce. So when Kit is offered a gig at another influencer's boho chic Joshua Tree wedding, she accepts for the distraction. And distract it does when she finds out her high school crush, Julia, is the wedding planner. Julia Kelly is her agency's most sought after wedding planner, and for a good reason. She's a perfectionist. Control means never showing others the vulnerable blobby mess she really is deep down inside. Having an ex-girlfriend in the bridal party is a problem, sure, but reconnecting with the beautiful tarot reader who broke her heart as a teenager is so much worse. Kit's cards once told her that she and Julia were twin flames, two halves of the same soul. With wedding events pushing them together, their spark ignites, and so does a chance at being lovers. Now, I am not a second chance girl. I don't believe in second chances. Sorry, not sorry. But I do give a little when it's like a high school sweetheart type situation. Because I mean, our brains aren't even fully developed yet. So, like, high school doesn't even count, in my opinion. So, I let those slide as far as second chance. But, you know, I think this will be really cute. I'm excited. I love weddings and wedding books and books about weddings and all that jazz. So I'm thinking this will be a really cute sapphic romance. Moving on, we have The Dating Countdown by N.G. Peltier, and this is the second book in the series that started with Sweet Hand, and I do not know the name of that, but yes. This says Remy Daniels knows what she wants. Maxine King. She screwed up when they were teenagers, allowing them to part on bad terms. But now that Maxine is divorced and back on the island, their chemistry can't be denied. And Remy is ready to pick up right where they left off. Maxine King has only ever fooled around with one woman, Remy Daniels, and being back in each other's orbits, they can't seem to keep their hands off of each other. Maxine has enough to deal with in her daily life, her daughter, and trying to prove herself at work. She can't add lusting after Remy to that list. To prove that their relationship can be more than just sex, Maxine suggests that they keep things casual and go on 10 friend dates. After all, if they can do that, then it would mean that they're serious about each other, right? I don't know. But I'm excited, and I just realized that I lied to you. This is not the second book. This is the third book. I think the second one is something about baking. But yes, this is the third, and I think the final book in this trilogy. And I'm super excited. Y'all love me some sapphic romance, obviously. So yeah, moving on, we have A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan, and this is a enemies to lovers marriage of convenience book. And it says dragons are extinct, witches are outcast, magic is dying, but human lust for power is immortal. Dragonfire no longer blisters the skies over Pantera, but inside the lavish palace, life is still perilous, especially for Tamsin. Raised in the glittering court alongside the princesses, it's her duty to be punished for their misdeeds. Treated as part of the royal family, but also as the lowliest servant, Tamsin fits nowhere. So when she is tasked with the ultimate sacrifice of pretending to be one of the true royal princesses and marry Fael, the beast of the borderlands, son to the great dragon slayer, Tamsin accepts her fate even if it means tricking the deadly warrior. The wedding night begins with unexpected passion, but ends in near violence when her trickery is exposed. Rather than start a war, Fael accepts Tamsin as his bride. But Tamsin isn't what she seems. She harbors dark secrets, secrets buried so deep even she doesn't know they exist. It has dragons. We have enemies to lovers, one of my favorite tropes. We also have marriage of convenience. I don't hate it. I just don't know if it's like top tier for me, but you know, it's fine. This sounds super exciting, and I'm ready to see what she's giving. And last but certainly not least, in our September category, we have another horror, and that is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. And I tried, what's the name of it? House of Hunger, and I DNF'd it. I didn't like it, but I don't think it was the writing I had a problem with. I think it was the story. So I'm hoping that Alexis can give something else with this book. And it is also a horror, so I'm like, I don't know. I just want to give her another shot. This just sounds good. So a student will find that the hardest lessons sometimes come outside the classroom. In the stunning I put it together. In this stunning dark academia novel, Lennon Carter's life is falling apart. Then she gets a mysterious phone call inviting her to take the entrance exam for Drayton College, a school of magic hidden in a secret pocket of Savannah. Lennon has been chosen because, like everyone else at the school, she has the innate gift of persuasion, the ability to wield her will like a weapon, using it to control others and, in rare cases, matter itself. After passing the test, Lennon begins to learn how to master her devastating and unsettling power. But despite persuasion's heavy toll on her body and mind, she is wholly captivated by her studies, by Drayton's lush, moss-draped campus, and by her brilliant classmates. But even more captivating is her charismatic advisor, Dante, who both intimidates and enthralls her. So, I don't know how I feel about this advisor-student relationship. We'll have to see, but this does sound good, and I really want to give it a shot because I think I might. Now we are moving into our October anticipated releases, and we're going to start off with Blood Guard by CC Robson, and this has been pushed back a few times. I think it was actually originally supposed to come out in March of this year, and I've had this pre-ordered, and I'm going to release 2 emails saying that it's been pushed back, so hopefully we get it this year. I don't know. But it says 100 years, tens of thousands of gladiators, and today only one will rise. Everything in the kingdom of Arrow is a lie. Leith of Grey thought coming to this new land and volunteering to fight in the gladiator arena, vicious bloodthirsty tournaments where only the strongest survive, would earn him enough gold to save his dying sister. He thought there was nothing left to lose. He was wrong, and they took everything: his hope, his freedom, his very humanity. All Leith has left is his battle-scarred body, fueled by rage and hardened from years of fighting for the right to live another day. Then Leith meets Maeve, an elven royal who is everything he despises, everything he should hate, until the alluring princess offers him the one thing he needs most: a chance to win the coveted title of Bloodguard and his freedom. But in a kingdom built on secrets and lies, hope doesn't come cheap, nor will his ultimate revenge. Yeah, this sounds different from any fantasy book that I've read. I haven't really read about gladiators before, but I am a fan of tournaments, so I'm thinking this could, be something that I like. Next, we have Perfect Fit by Claire Gilmore, and this is a hilarious and heartfelt rom-com about having it all, slowing down to see the big picture, and finding out that the person you least expect could be your perfect fit. Josephine Davis has spent her entire 20s building Revenant, a fashion brand headquartered in downtown Austin. When her biggest investor orders Josie to hire a consultant, the last person she expects to be working with is Will Grant, the twin brother of Josie's ex-best friend. Sure, Will and Josie may have shared one mistake of a kiss during senior spring break 9 years ago, but they've never been friends. And she remembers him as moody. He always thought of her as shallow. Romance isn't on the table for either of them until they blink and realize there's a reason they can't stay away from each other. But there's Will's sister to consider, whom Josie hasn't spoken with since their falling out, not to mention Will and Josie live 1,700 miles apart. It's not like she has time for a boyfriend anyway when she's an overworked CEO. As Josie's burnout looms while she falls deeper and harder for Will, she contends with the fact that eventually she'll have to make a choice: stay alone to be productive or slow down to be in love. And this sounds cute. Like, I read Claire Gilmore's other book, Love Interest, 4.5 stars. Loved how she told the story, and I feel like this is gonna be one that really, it hits here. I'm just ready to see how she builds out this love story. Our next October release is Sorcery and Small Things by Mega Ducey. I think that's how you pronounce that. Desperate to undo the curse binding them together, an impulsive sorcerer and his curmudgeonly rival venture into a magical forest to search for a counterspell, only to discover that magic might not be the only thing pulling them together. Leo Vander Lovage is a master of small magics. He can summon butterflies with a song or turn someone's hair pink by snapping his fingers. Such minor charms don't earn him much admiration from other sorcerers or his father, but anything more elaborate always blows up in his face, which is why Leo vowed years ago to never again write powerful magic. That is, until a mix-up involving a forbidden love spell binds Leo to obey the commands of his longtime nemesis, Sebastian Grimm. Grimm is Leo's complete opposite, respected, exceptionally talented, and an absolutely insufferable curmudgeon. The only thing that they agree on is that getting caught using forbidden magic would mean the end of their careers. They need a counterspell, and fast. But Grimm casts spells, he doesn't undo them, and Leo doesn't mess with powerful magic. Chasing rumors of a powerful sorcerer with a knack for undoing curses, Leo and Grimm enter the Unquiet Wood, a forest infested with murderous monsters and dangerous outlaws alike. To dissolve the curse, they'll have to uncover the true depths of Leo's magic, set aside their long-standing rivalry, and much to their horror, work together, even as an odd flare of attraction. sparks between them. So cute, right? So it sounds like this is giving us cozy vibes. It's for sure giving us queer vibes. And I'm ready for it. This sounds really good. A little different from what I normally read, but that's a good thing. This sounds super cute. Next up, we have another one of my most anticipated of the year, and this just became one of the most anticipated when I read the first book in the series. So this book is Throne of Secrets. I just spit. Sorry, y'all. Get it together. That is Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco, and it's the second book in the Princess of Sin series. So I just read Throne of the Fallen last month, something like that, and baby, ate it up, completely ate it up. So yes, I am ready for the second book in this series. And we are following two rivals torn apart by a dark memory as they reunite on a deadly hunt. A wicked prince determined to save his kingdom. Gabriel Axton, infamous as the Prince of Gluttony, the self-proclaimed rake of rakes, has always lived for indulgence, in delicious food, in tantalizing women, and most of all in the thrill of the hunt, where his love of danger can take over. But when his favorite adventure takes a deadly turn, he realizes something is very wrong in his demon court. With the clock ticking, he must turn to the only one who might uncover the truth. A journalist he has spent a decade avoiding. A reporter hell-bent on finding the truth. Adriana St. Lucian has been on the hunt for years. If she could just report something damning enough about that no-good scoundrel Gabriel Axton, she knows others would finally see the demon as she does. But she never expected to turn up a rumor too terrifying to be believed. Could the ice dragons to the north be growing restless? Drawn into the secrets of the underworld, Adriana's investigation leads her to the place she dreads most, Axton's infamous court. To stop the darkness from falling over the kingdom, Axton and Adriana will have to unite against an escalating danger. But with each holding tight to their own secrets, can they find out the truth before it's too late? And what will they do with an equally troubling rumor that they might not actually hate one another after all? And look, this is just a little special. It's a little more special because Glebia and Adriana, I've seen you get crumbs of them in the Kingdom of the Wicked series, and then also again in Throne of the Fallen. So I'm ready to see how this is gonna play out. I'm ready to see what y'all gonna get. Because Carrie can write chemistry between a couple. Wrath and Amelia and Camilla and Envy. Chemistry off the charts. So I'm ready to see what she does with Gluttony and Adriana, and as soon as this arrives in my mailbox, I'm picking it up, I'm reading it, I'm ready to go. Another one I'm super excited about is the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells by Rachel Greenlaw, and this says there is an old tale woven through the mountain town of Woodsmoke about a stranger who appears as the first snow falls in winter, who will disappear without a trace as the frost thaws in spring, leaving a broken heart behind. Carrie Morgan ran from Woodsmoke 10 years ago, and the decision has haunted her ever since. Spending a decade painting and drifting around Europe, she tries to forget her family's legacy and the friends she left behind. But the Morgan women have always been able to harness the power of the mountains surrounding the town, and their spells and their curses are sewn into the soil. The mountains, they say, never forget. Sure enough, when Carrie's grandmother dies and leaves behind her dilapidated cottage, she returns to renovate, certain she will only be there for one winter. She meets Matthew as the temperature dips, a newcomer who offers to help her refurbish the cottage. Before long, and despite warnings from her great aunt Cora of the old stories, Carrie finds herself falling for the charming stranger. But when the frost thaws in spring, Matthew goes missing. Carrie is convinced he's real and he's in danger. As she fights her way across the mountains to find him, she must confront all the reasons why she left Woodsmoke and decide whether the place she spent the last decade running from is the home she's been searching for. And I don't know what it is, but it's something about a girl and her grandma and some witchy stuff going on that it hits for me every time. And I don't know what it is, but I eat it up. So I feel like this is going to be another one that falls into that category. This one right here, it's a bit of a wild card, I'll say, because I am not a nonfiction reader and I am usually not a memoir reader, but that is what this is. But I just saw it and I couldn't could not want to read it. Like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that one up. And that is Dinner for Vampires: Life on a Cult TV Show While Also in an Actual Cult by Bethany Joy Lenz. And if you don't know who that is, she played Haley. Okay, yes, I'm right. She played Haley on One Tree Hill, and I watched this show a couple times too. It was one of my comfort shows. So I was like, girl, wait, you was in a cult? Hold on. I need to know more. In the early 2000s, after years of hard work and determination to break through as an actor, Bethany Joy Lenz was finally cast as one of the leads on the hit drama One Tree Hill. Her career was about to take off, but her personal life was slowly beginning to unravel. What none of the show's millions of fans knew, hidden even from her co-stars, was her secret double life in a cult. An only child who often had to fend for herself and always wanted a place to belong, Lenz found the safe haven she'd been searching for in a Bible study group with other Hollywood creatives. However, the group soon morphed into something more sinister, a slowly woven web of manipulation, abuse, and fear under the guise of a church covenant called the Big House Family. Overseen by a domineering minister who would convince Lenz to marry one of his sons and steadily drain millions of her TV income without her knowledge. Only when she became a mother did Lenz find the courage to leave and spare her child of a similar fate. After nearly a decade, and with the unlikely help of a One Tree Hill superfan, she finally managed to escape the family's grip and begin to heal from the deep trauma that forever altered her relationship with God and her understanding of faith. I need to pick it up. Our last October anticipated release is A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kinney. And I've actually never read anything from this author before. Hannity Goodwin, Kate to her friends, has curated the perfect life as a hedge witch, living in a secluded cottage with only a black cat for company. She spends her days foraging herbs from the Ipswich forest, gardening and creating tinctures to sell at the apothecary she owns. Most evenings pass without her speaking to another human being, an arrangement she quite prefers. Same friend. Kate's solitude is thrown into array when her older sister Miranda reaches out and asks her to host their coven's annual Halloween gathering. The day marks the beginning of the new year for witches, and it's also Kate's birthday. The pressure from her coven to make the evening memorable mounts as the event draws near. To complicate things further, a handsome man from Kate's past turns up at her cottage asking for sanctuary. It is Kate's duty as a hedge witch to honor this request, much to her dismay. As she juggles Matthew's arrival and the preparations for Halloween, Kate comes across an old tome shrouded in dark magic. She is horrified when she realizes the blood-red inscription is written in familiar handwriting, her recently deceased mother's. Afraid to even touch the dark magic her mother secretly studied, Kate can only turn to Matthew for help. And as she and Matthew grow closer, Kate has to reevaluate whom she can really trust. A Dark and Secret Magic is a celebration of the Halloween season and a love letter to anyone who drinks pumpkin spice in August and carries the spirit of a witch inside their heart all year long. We are now moving into our November anticipated releases, and the first one is definitely up there on the list, at the top of the list as well, and that is More Than This, which is the second book in the Davenport series by Crystal Marquise. And I can't really say much about this because the synopsis definitely spoils what happened in the first book. So it says, like the blazing Chicago sun, the drama is heating up for the Davenports and their social set. Before the summer of 1910 drops its last petal, the lives and loves of these four young women will change in ways they never could have imagined. Inspired by the real-life story of the Patterson family, More Than This is the second book in the critically adored Davenport series, following four empowered and passionate young Black women as they navigate a rapidly changing society and discover the courage to steer their own paths in life and in love, and I cannot wait to pick this up. I am so super excited to read this. Next, we have The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. And I've actually never picked up a Mary E. Pearson book, but I know she has, I think, like the Dance of Thieves, Vow of Thieves duology, and then like the Remnant Chronicles or something like that. But no. This, however, sounds like something I need to pick up. After losing both of their parents, Bristol Keats and her sister struggle to stay afloat in their small, quiet town of Bowskew. When Bristol begins to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises she can help, she reluctantly agrees to meet and discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. Even her father might still be alive, not killed, but kidnapped by terrifying creatures to a whole other realm, the one he is from. Desperate to save her father and find out the truth, Bristol journeys to a land of gods and fate and monsters. Pulled into a dangerous world of magic and intrigue, she makes a deadly bargain with the Fae King Tigan. But what she does not know is that he's the one who drove her parents to a life on the run. And he is just as determined as she is to find her father, dead or alive. Yes. Yes. Next up, we have A Crimson Covenant, and this is by Amy Donnellan. It's the first book in the Nightwalkers of Concord series. And this says, the vampires and werewolves of the town of Concord have for centuries worked to keep their homes secret and safe. But the heirs of the founding families paired from a young age to train together and complement each other, life is almost ideal. However, is this Arch or Archie? Icon, heir to the Warden clan, is beginning to resent her best friend and partner and can't tell anyone. Lenora, not just the vampiric heir to the House of the Arcane, is struggling with the expectations of an additional destiny she never wanted, not to mention being in love with her partner, who is in love with someone else, all of which matters much less when Concord is attacked by a violent, vindictive cultist. In shock, on the run, and without the partners they've had for years, Archie and Lenora must venture far from home for the first time in search of something that will save their people and perhaps consider that some partnerships are better forged in fire than given. And this is definitely something different, and that's what really sparked my interest in it. And it's also queer, and that's what we're here for. So I'm really excited to figure out what exactly is going to happen in this. So yeah, ready to pick this up. Moving on to Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley, and it's the first book in the Shards of Magic series, and this cover is gorgeous in my opinion. Kenna Heron is best known in her village for being a little wild, some say half feral, but she'll need every ounce of that ferocity to survive captivity in the cruel Fae court. Trapped as a servant in the fairies' underground kingdom of Mistay, Kenna must help her new mistress undertake 6 deadly trials, one for each branch of magic: fire, earth, light, void, illusion, and blood. If she succeeds, her mistress will gain immortality and become the heir to the Earth House. If she doesn't, the punishment is death for both mistress and servant. With no ally but a sentient dagger of mysterious origins, Kenna must face monsters, magic, and grueling physical tests. But worse dangers wait underground, and soon Kenna gets caught up in a secret rebellion against the inventively sadistic Fairy King. When her feelings for the rebellion's leader turn passionate, Kenna must decide if she's willing to risk her life for a better world and a chance at happiness. Again, something different that I haven't necessarily read before, and I'm very, very interested in this for sure. And I will say, I don't know if it's happening, but if the light is changing around me in the room, it's because the sun is setting, I guess. The sun is doing its thing, and I am fine with that. So yeah, our last November anticipated release is The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. It says, this thrilling romantasy debut combines high stakes political intrigue and a steamy, slow burn enemies to lovers romance. All her life, Vasa Kozar has been sharpened into a blade. After losing her mother, her only remaining parent, to a mysterious dark magic that has since awakened within her, Vasa is certain death looms. So is her merciless brother, who aims to eliminate Vasa as a threat to his crown. In one last political scheme, he marries her off to Reed of Myra. I don't know what that's, a ruthless foreign ruler, in hopes that he could use her death as a rallying cry to invade Reed's nation. All Vasa has to do is die. But she is desperate to live. Vasa enters her new marriage with every intent to escape it, wielding the hard-won political prowess and combat abilities her late father instilled in her. But to her surprise, Reed offers her a deal. Help him win the votes to rise in power and she can walk free. In exchange, he will share his knowledge about the dark magic running through her veins and help keep it at bay. So, standard enemies to lovers, but I love political intrigue. Like, I eat that up. So I'm excited to see what this one is about. Alrighty, so I do have one more category that I want to put into this video, and that is holiday releases, because holiday books start coming out in September and they work their way on out until the end of the year. So there are some holiday books that are coming out this fall that I want to mention because I do read holiday and Christmassy books, and some of these are most anticipated. So let's get into these holiday books. First up, we have Christmas in Spite of You by Casey Mills, and this is a neat freak Scrooge and a Christmas-loving ball of chaos must coexist for a week, and the friction and separation that ensue makes the most magical time of the year extremely remarkable in this holiday romance. After pumping her hard-earned savings into a business plan that doesn't pan out, Noelle is left financially strapped and needs a way to earn money to stay afloat. Under the advisement of her closest friends, she decides to rent out her apartment as an Airbnb for the Christmas holidays while she visits her family for their annual Christmas celebration. Her plans were to relax, celebrate the season, and regroup. What she didn't plan on was coming down ill and having to miss the opportunity to spend much needed time with her family. Kincaid is on the cusp of securing a lucrative business deal. In order to get a one-up on his competition, he rents an Airbnb in the same apartment complex where his potential client resides. Only he's surprised when he shows up and the owner of the Airbnb not only wants to cancel the reservation, but is still occupying the space. With great reluctance, Noelle and Kincaid agree to cohabitate for 1 week. Noelle attempts to stay out of Kincaid's way, but they undoubtedly cross paths, causing friction between the two. They immediately clash on everything, most notably their views on the holidays. Noelle is determined to have a very Merry Christmas in spite of her temporary housemate, which is the source of Kincaid's irritation. Eventually, the two begin to soften toward each other. And, of course, I'm guessing the love story goes from there, but this sounds really cute and fun. So it comes out in September, so be on the lookout for this holiday romance. Next up, we have All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard, and I just read Lease on Love, had a good time with it, and I've also read Just My Type and enjoyed it, so I thought, why not try out her holiday romance? This release also comes out in September, and it says 2 rival authors and exes are thrown together just in time for the holidays in this delightfully new romantic comedy. All Jessica has ever wanted is her own happily ever after. Until that happens, she spends her days as a small-time romance writer, penning satisfying romances to continue to soothe the pain of her ex-boyfriend, also a romance writer in her worst nightmare, who has found success writing love stories without happy endings. So when their writing obligations bring them to a remote inn a few days before Christmas, they're a little more than peeved, especially when they get trapped sharing a room in a snowstorm with only one bed. But what's more fitting for the two romantic writers? When they realize the friction between them is the only cure for their writer's block, they decide to turn their hate into fuel, and the pages start flying. But will her heart soar too? Nick is the last guy on earth Jess could love, or is he really all she wants for Christmas? Next up is Most Wonderful by Georgia Clark, and this is supposed to come out in October. And it says, a charming queer holiday romance about 3 adult siblings, each at a personal and romantic crossroads, who reunite at their larger-than-life mother's Catskills manor for an unforgettable Christmas. It's the most romantic time of the year. The holidays are fast approaching, and the Belvedere siblings are a mess. Liz, a Hollywood showrunner and responsible eldest has no idea how to follow up her hit show's first season or how to deal with her giant crush on its star, Violet Grace. Birdie turned her chronic middle child syndrome into a career as a stand-up comic, but since she spends more time wooing women than working on new material, she's facing one-hit wonder status, especially once she gets axed by her manager. And Rafi, sensitive romantic and the baby golden boy, proposes to his co-worker girlfriend in front of his entire company, only to be turned down by the woman he thought was the love of his life. Born to 3 different fathers, the 3 adult children share one mother, famed actress and singer Babs Belvedere. Seeking direction and holiday cheer, all 3 siblings head up to their mother's house in the Catskills, determined to swear off love and focus on themselves and their work. But the spirit of the season seems to have different plans for them, and their best intentions are quickly derailed in the most delightful and festive of ways. And this sounds super cute, following a family, following queer siblings. I think this is going to be pretty fun. I think. And the final book for this video is I'll Be Gone for Christmas by Georgia K. Boone, and this is also supposed to come out in October. And it says, for fans of the holiday comes a heartwarming Christmas house swap rom-com debut in which finding yourself and finding love come hand in hand. B. Tyler needs a break. In the bustling San Francisco tech community, no one ever seems to stand still, especially her perfect sister and business partner Beth. So when her best friend suggests to get away on the wildly popular house swap app, Vacate, B decides a countryside retreat might be exactly what she needs. Clover Mills has had a year. Between losing her mother and making the complicated decision to leave her fiancé, sticking around the idyllic Christmas-obsessed town of Salem, Ohio just doesn't feel right. So when she learns about Vacate, she jumps at the chance to spend the holidays in the unfamiliar city of San Francisco. Soon enough, B is living in Clover's cozy Salem cottage, and Clover is living in B's sleek San Francisco apartment. As Clover can't seem to stop running into B's frustratingly gorgeous sister Beth, and B finds herself spending more and more time with Clover's ultra-charming ex-fiancé Knox, the 2 women realize that this Christmas they may just find what they were looking for and more. And we love a queer holiday romance. We love the holiday movie. So this is going to be fun, and I'm super excited to pick this up. And with that being said, y'all, we made it. Thank you for sticking with me. I feel like I have talked an insane amount. My mouth is dry, and the only thing I have to drink beside me right now is this Dr. Pepper, and it has not been given. So if I have been struggling in this video, that is why. But if you have any anticipated releases for this fall season, please let me know down in the comments. If you plan to pick any of these up or have read these already, let me know. I'm ready to get into the cozy reading season. And with all of that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing. Have the best day that you possibly can, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.